it requires some effort to figure out exactly what's going on. But if I short SOFR futures, that means I'm betting that price of those will go down, and price of those futures are one-to-one inversely correlated with interest rate changes. That means a decline in futures price is the same thing as an increase in interest rate. So I have a hedge instrument. All I have to do is short the SOFR futures or short-term interest rate futures. We'll worry about exactly how many contracts. So as interest rates go up, long-term bond loses value, but I make money on the what you want to call short-term interest rates. And that duration number actually tells you what's going to happen or how much you need to hedge. Because duration of 3-month stuff is almost nothing. So technically, if you have $1 billion worth of bonds, you have to do about, in this case, $19 million worth of contracts short. But we'll worry about that later. But, as interest rates change, that number changes, which means I may have a position that I originally hedged, let's say at 2%, and that required me essentially to short 19 contracts, I think, remembering the units. If the rates run up to 3%, proper hedge ratio is 18. So I need to adjust my hedge. That's where convexity comes. It tells me how much I need to adjust my hedges. Convexity is basically, you can think of that as change in duration. We can calculate it with a formula, or we can calculate it using what I call numerical derivative. So I'm going to actually copy this one here. My real estate is very expensive here. I'll use a different format for that. Maybe I have a blue cell that lives there. Who does that remind me of? You guys may be too young for that. There used to be, I don't know if he's still there. I think he's dead now. There was a guy on public TV that did a show on painting. I think there's a tree that lives there in the bottom of that mountain. He talks like that. I had no idea what he was doing, good or bad, but his talking soothed me. It actually let me go to sleep. And I'm going to actually do something very simple. Come on. So I'm going to copy it. And I'm going to call this iConvex bond. Obviously, inputs are exactly the same. And the way I'm going to do it numerically, I'm going to call the iRisk bond at the current yield, and I'm going to call that when the yield is 1 basis points above. iRisk bond, coup rate, I rate, I phase, I time, and I frec. I'm doing this only because if I written the whole thing in one line, some of that would have become invisible. Actually, I'm going to put here minus. I'm going to do it at I rate plus 0.0001. That is exactly 1 basis point. Okay, 0.01. Yeah, this is basically change in convexity, change in duration. We may also, let me actually do a change in, it's good to know that it's negative. I'm going to actually do this. Well, let's leave it as it is, then we'll worry about the interpretation. For that function, if I don't remember the syntax, I'm going to go to FX button, pick user defined, and find my iConvex right there. Again, I apologize that it's too small, but there is nothing I can do about that. I mean, technically we have a lot of real estate here, but okay, what's my coupon rate? Right there. Interest rate, which is yield to maturity, right there. Face value. Technically, I could assume face value as 1. It would be exactly the same. I time is maturity, and I frec is right there. Maybe it may not be a bad idea to multiply this by 10,000. No, we're going to multiply it by 100. Now I'm going to multiply with 100, and here's the reason. I'm going to view that as change in convexity when interest rates run up by about 1%. Maybe we should do it that way. Again, it's just a matter of interpreting it. Okay. Yeah. This basically says if interest rates went to 4, you should expect duration to go down by about 1.17. This is like 1812, right? $16.95. That's kind of the difference. It just means you have to change your hedge quite a bit. Let's see how big convexity is at different coupon levels. For example, at 0 coupon rate, it's a little bit lower, okay? At a coupon rate of 5, it's higher. So if you have a 0 coupon bond, the need to adjust your hedge is not as big compared to a bond with a coupon, right?